Let me ask you this. Would you rather waste your time and years just working for material desires and scrolling, watching meaningless content on social media, on TV, listening to the pointless radio stations and podcasts, or struggle and endure to meditate to try awaken the uncreated divine essence within yourself? I'm not saying quit your job and become homeless. I'm saying work should be temporary, because there would be a supreme goal. Ignorance is not bliss. So which struggle do you think is worth your time? If you have hesitated even the slightest, no doubt you're vacuous. Another question, is it your own desire? If the choices are already made and provided for you, do you need social media? Think deeper for once in your miserable human existence. Even with all this information in our fingertips, past century spiritualists have predicted that our generation will be a generation of degenerates, and how accurate they are. And just how humiliating, what an absolute embarrassment. Now, as we look further into that embarrassment, allow me to tell you that there's a storm of mental illness creeping in slowly all over the world. People are going to lose their minds. People are going to become more angry, anxious, stressed, depressed, forgetful, and most won't know why, because to them it will manifest within as normal as any other thought or emotion. As a result, some will feel like giving up and develop a carefree attitude. Some will head down a darker path. This is nothing new. It has happened before. It is a supernatural phenomenon. I call it the Great Reset. This is usually related to biblical nonsense. People will suffer even more with diseases, destructive weathers, economical collapses, religious and political wars, and as a result, death rates will increase. You will notice that everything has been fastened, time has been fastened. This is the way of the Creator God of the universe preparing for the next phase of human evolution. It is pure elusive madness and chaos. Have you ever needed anything before its creation? No doubt a lot of things created has made life easier, getting to places has become sufficient, but it didn't stop there. Communication has gotten much better, but it didn't stop there. The world's government's desperate attempt for absolute control is what's wrong with society. We are all brought and sucked in and squeezed in to exist together. While there's nothing wrong with meeting different people, at the same time, having so many people in confined spaces breathing the same air. I don't know about you, but I need my personal space. I don't want to hear the neighbors' businesses. I honestly find it disturbing and disgusting how so many people are trained and brainwashed to exist in cities exchanging the same disgusting air. So do you need social media? Have you ever thought about how much time you spend on social media each day? Does it not terrify you? These questions might seem trivial at first, but they're the gateway to understanding a widespread issue that's swept across our society like a silent storm. The unseen addiction, that is social media. You must understand that they knew exactly what they were doing when they invented all those apps. They knew the human need for wisdom, the need for companionship. They knew people always felt loneliness, and they have filled that gap for you with those apps. My question is, do you feel satisfaction and accomplishment whenever you use those social media apps? Can you fly now? Can you levitate now? Can you heal yourself at will now? I didn't think so. You're struggling and fighting the wrong fight. See, I left social media years ago before it got worse. I don't have TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter or Facebook except YouTube. The truth is, social media is a drug for the mind, a constant drip feed of information, whether meaningful or not, that keeps you hooked, scrolling, liking and interacting in the most superficial ways. You're drowning in the ocean of social media, and no one can pull you out. You will have to summon the power within yourself and swim your way out to shore by yourself. Social media has redefined your reality, shaping your perceptions, and unfortunately, it's leading to a decline in human intelligence. It is only going to get worse from here, people, if you don't wake up now. Yes, you heard it right. The human intellectual capabilities, once nourished by true authentic spirituality, books, engaging discussions and critical thinking, are now being eroded by this relentless tide of digital interactions. Social media addiction is a product of the modern age, a side effect of the digital revolution. It's not a physical substance we can touch, taste or smell, but its impact is palpable. It's in the mindless hours people spend scrolling through feeds, the dopamine rush with each like or share, the anxiety when the notifications stop. It's in the way we've started to value popularity over substance, and the relentless pursuit of instant gratification. What's even more alarming is the change in our intellectual habits. Instead of seeking profound conversations or challenging our beliefs with new knowledge, we've become content with viral videos, memes, and short-lived trends. We've traded depth for breadth, substance for popularity, and in the process we've allowed our intellect to suffer. The echo chamber effect of algorithm-curated content further fuels this addiction, reinforcing our existing biases and limiting our exposure to diverse perspectives. Instead of broadening our horizons, we're narrowing them, stifling our critical thinking and hampering our ability to see beyond our own limited worldview. The truth is, social media has become a drug, and it's high time people recognized it. You need to break free from this digital intoxication, reclaim your time, your mind, your superior intellect. After all, social media is a tool, not a life sentence. It's time people remembered that we're not the tools here. We need to use technology, not let it use us. Did you know there was a time when people relied on pure and true wisdom from books, engaging discussions, and critical thinking to expand their knowledge and understanding? Yes, it seems almost unbelievable in this era of hashtags and trending topics. A time when people didn't measure their worth by the number of likes and retweets they received. Back in the day, social interactions were meaningful and knowledge was gained through comprehensive reading and thoughtful dialogues. There was a certain richness in the process that is sorely missing today. People used to delve into the depths of a subject, dissecting arguments and forming well-rounded opinions. They didn't just consume information, they processed it, contemplated it, and then contributed to the collective knowledge. Fast forward to today, and we find ourselves in a world where instant gratification is the norm. Social media platforms have become the new arenas of validation, where likes, shares, and followers are the new currency. This culture of instant gratification has inadvertently led to a decline in people's intellectual capacities. People are so eager to jump on the next viral trend that they rarely stop to question its substance. The constant need for validation has turned people into passive consumers of information, reducing their attention spans and diminishing our critical thinking abilities. People are more interested in being part of the latest viral trend than in engaging in meaningful conversations or seeking knowledge that could challenge their existing beliefs. Moreover, the algorithmic nature of these platforms has created a bubble around us, limiting our exposure to diverse perspectives. This echo chamber effect has stunted our intellectual growth, making us more prone to confirmation bias and less open to new ideas. The past was simpler, without the addictive nature of social media platforms. There was a time when people engaged with each other in person, had meaningful conversations, and sought knowledge not for likes and shares, but for the sheer joy of learning. While people can't physically go back in time, we can certainly learn from the past and strive to make our interactions more meaningful, our knowledge more comprehensive, and our lives less dictated by the whims of social media algorithms. Are you aware of the echo chamber effect of social media? This is a phenomenon that's silently reshaping our perspectives, and it's worth your attention. This effect originates from the algorithmic nature of social media platforms. In their quest to keep us hooked, these platforms curate content that aligns with our preferences. You like cat videos? You'll see more of them. You lean towards a certain political ideology. You'll be fed more of the same. This personalization, while seemingly harmless, creates an echo chamber where we are constantly bombarded with information that reinforces our existing biases and beliefs. This echo chamber effect has far-reaching implications. It stifles critical thinking, as we are rarely exposed to opposing viewpoints or ideas that challenge our existing beliefs. It's like living in a self-constructed bubble, where everything inside validates our worldview while everything outside is conveniently filtered out. Moreover, this echo chamber effect hampers our ability to think beyond our limited worldview. When we only consume content that aligns with our beliefs, we risk becoming intellectually complacent. We lose the ability to engage in constructive debates, to question our assumptions, and to grow from these interactions. In effect, we become prisoners of our own biases, trapped in a loop of self-affirming content. This is not an environment conducive to intellectual growth or emotional maturity. The echo chamber effect is a silent consequence of social media addiction. Do you want to reclaim control over your time and attention? It's time to step away from the mindless scrolling and the constant need for validation. It's time to seek out meaningful interactions, to invest in activities that nurture your intellect. Think about the last time you had a conversation that sparked your curiosity or pushed you to think beyond your existing beliefs. Can't remember? Well, that's the problem. We've become so engrossed in the superficial interactions that social media offers, we've forgotten the joy of real, deep conversations. Social media is a tool, a powerful one indeed, but it's just a tool. It's not your life, it's not your identity, it's not your worth. It's a platform to share ideas, to connect with others, but it's not the measure of your intelligence or your value. So, how do you reclaim control? You start by recognizing that you have a choice. A choice to use social media mindfully, to use it as a tool that aids your growth rather than hampers it. You must choose to engage in discussions that challenge you. You must choose to explore perspectives that differ from yours. You should choose to invest time in activities that expand your knowledge beyond the norm. You can choose to take a break from social media, to disconnect in order to reconnect with yourself, with your thoughts, with your dreams. The challenge is to use technology and not allow technology to use you. It's time to reclaim control. You have to be willing to make the hardest sacrifice, delete all those apps, because the brutal truth is you never needed those apps. You can still text and call whoever you associate with the phone. Without those addictive apps, you can't live without now. If you want to be a god, you have to be willing to renounce being human. There's no way you can be a mindless animal human and hope to comprehend what a god is, or yet alone be a god. For those who claim to be alphas, you're no alpha. You're just an actor, a puppet, mindlessly obeying orders, scrolling. If you're ready to truly make a change in your life, the solution is not video games or podcasts about quick fixes and get-rich quick schemes. If you want to make that positive change and attain permanent healing in your miserable life of constant validation from people, you need to make that supreme sacrifice and start to consciously engage in activities that stimulate the mind in a supernatural way. Use superior affirmations to isolate yourself from meaningless thoughts and emotions. Use superior affirmations such as this: I want to unite myself with you, my uncreated eternal spirit. I want to wake up now and liberate from the confines of thoughts and emotions. Dedicate your time to meditate with extreme and supreme discipline. Declare that you're no longer a slave to the system. Seek the uncreated divinity within yourself. Nothing is more superior than the uncreated eternal divinity within yourself. That should be the greatest goal. Look past the societal norms, the digital norms, and step into the realm of the eternal gods, or remain ordinary.